Oh, the big bad police can't take a little bit of mean words.
Keep it 100, I be feeling like Campbell soup over white rice, baked chicken with the skin on, yeah, Lowry's with black pepper, I'm fully seasoned with laughter.
Welcome to my channel, keep it 100 Dre. So today what I want to talk about, it's pretty disturbing. Take a look at this article. Kentucky bill would make it a crime to insult a police officer. A bill moving through Kentucky Senate would make it a crime to insult or taunt a police officer during a riot. Supporters say the bill targets people who unlawfully cross the line, but opponents call it a blatant attempt to crush protest and a violation of First Amendment rights. Senate Bill 211 mandates up to 3 months imprisonment for a person who accosts, insults, taunts, or challenges a law enforcement officer with offensive or derisive words, or makes gestures or other physical contact that would have a direct tendency to provoke a violent response from the perspective of a reasonable and prudent person. A person convicted of this misdemeanor charge could also face a $250 fine and be disqualified from public assistance benefits for 3 months. So the Kentucky senators want to crack down on protesters protesting for their rights using the First Amendment right to crack down on free speech towards police officers. That's a blatant violation of the First Amendment. So the very crazy thing about this is that, isn't it that crowd that they're supposed to be so anti-cancel culture? Oh, the big bad police can't take a little bit of mean words. The police are cowards. They're complete cowards. They're scared of words from protesters. No, they want to take away their rights. That's what they want to do. So they said a person can be in prison up to 3 months for saying something mean to police officers and giving a $250 fine. And they can lose food stamps for up to 3 months. So if they protest, they can't eat. So you gotta choose between protesting and eating. And here's the thing about that. The police officers can make up any lie and define what offensive is. What offends everybody is different. I see people get offended because of the stupidest thing. What offends you does not matter. It's a person's right to say it. So I want people to understand this. Just because it's a blatant violation of the First Amendment doesn't mean it's going to get struck down in courts. I have a friend. She is in favor of policing free speech, policing hate speech. She's in favor of it, or at least she was a few years ago. And I told her, so let me describe it more. Specifically what she wants is if a person committed what she considered hate speech, that they should be put in prison for it. They should be arrested for it. And I told her how that's a very slippery slope, and that's extremely dangerous. If the drug war were to end, that would be the new drug war. Because people would be locked up for saying anything. They'd be locked up for saying anything, because anything can be considered hate speech. The person that's in power interprets what hate speech is. So if an administration you don't like is in power, they can determine what hate speech is and lock you up for it. And at the time, Donald Trump was in office, but it doesn't matter. If Donald Trump, Obama, whatever trash politician you like, George Bush, Bill Clinton was in office, it's not right for them to determine what hate speech is, because they can lock up their people who are considered their enemies by what hate speech is defined as and who they put in place to define hate speech. So I told her if that were to be done, they would put black people in prison for saying things to the police, and that would be a new drug war. And there would be so many more people locked up and put in jail than under a drug war, so it'd probably be worse than a drug war. She of course laughed it off, she thought that I was over exaggerating, it didn't really mean anything. So you know how Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, they all spy on us. So we was having that conversation, and then maybe the next day, 2 days later, an article appeared on my timeline that a black man was arrested for calling the police pigs. He was put in jail for that. And luckily, because it's a blatant violation of the First Amendment, he was released from jail. Now, had hate speech, being able to police hate speech was a thing, it was legal in America, he would have been in jail today for calling the police pigs. I can't tell you the amount of things I've said about police. I've said so many negative things about police, and I will continue to do so. I actually have a video coming out about how much of cowards police are. That's coming very shortly. Y'all gonna love that video. It's gonna be very interesting. So I say negative things about police all the time because they deserve it for the most part. So I should be put in prison because I'm saying what I feel about police. The vast majority of it truthful. Some of it's my opinion, but the vast majority of it's truthful. They can determine that as hate speech and throw me and throw anyone who says anything like that in prison. That's not right whatsoever. And then this is another example of it. Them determining what hate speech is and trying to put people in prison for it. So I have another friend who I showed this article to before I actually shot the video. And this friend said, oh, it's a blatant violation of the First Amendment. It's going to be shot down. I said, wait, you can't just take that for granted and assume that it's going to be shot down in courts. The reason why, and I explained to this friend, there's a separate friend. The reason why we can't take that for granted is because right now there's 27 states with anti-BDS laws. BDS laws by boycott, divestment, sanction Israel for them oppressing the Palestinian people. People who support that movement. There's 27 states that have laws that can fine businesses and individuals that account for 78% of the country if they're in favor of BDS laws. If they're in favor of that movement. And it hasn't been shot down in courts in those 27 states. So I want people to understand that the government is always trying to erode your rights. The government and the elite. You can't take for granted just because something is illegal. That doesn't mean that that's against the Constitution. That doesn't mean your rights can't be taken away. You always have to constantly be fighting for your rights or it will be taken away. This story is an example of that. The story of that black man got arrested for calling the police pigs is an example of that. The 27 states with anti-BDS laws on the books are many examples of that. That can affect up to 78% of the population. I believe that's 270 something million people. So this is very disturbing and very troubling. And if you want to keep your rights, you have to continue to fight for them. That's all I gotta say for this video. If you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications so you see when I post more videos in the future. But before the video is over, I gotta leave you with one more thing, and that's the word of the day. The word or words of the day are free speech. Free speech is spelled F-R-E-E-S-P-E-E-C-H. The definition of free speech is the right to express any opinion without censorship or restraint. So now I will attempt to use free speech in a sentence. Unless you fight for your right to free speech, it will continuously be eroded. Hopefully I use that sentence correctly. So again, if you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications so you know when I post more videos in the future, and use free speech in the comment section below so I know you watch the video to the end. So again, I really appreciate you watching the video. 100% this. Peace.
Well, I've been stacking up. Nah, really that ain't accurate, cause I just spent my whole damn advance in the past couple months just to compensate for times we ain't have enough. Ooh.